Okay.
Hey, hi Fernanda.
Eh.
Okay.
How
Hi.
are you guys? I'm sorry, I needed one more minute because I was in the
Oh,
bathroom.
No
I'm sorry.
problem. No problem.
no problem. No problem.
We will.
We are excited, Fernanda.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Thank you guys for the chance of talking about
Yeah,
crypto here. Thank you.
You're welcome in Italy.
welcome, Ethan. We are You are Monia and Marco, and welcome in Italy to Alchemy-Sound Radio. We are honored to welcome you at our microphones, and we are thrilled to present your new music project, Crypta. Let's go, guys! Guys.
Okay,
Thank
I'm
you for
ready.
having me. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, let's start with your amazing debut, Echoes of the Soul. COVID and the strange management of pandemic that Brazil is experiencing certainly not let you not let you record easily. How did you manage yourself, and especially how do you involve Luana, Taina, and Sonia, even in the composition phase? I saw that you could work in the recording studio.
Uh-huh. So the pandemic, the only good thing that pandemic brought to the band, and it was the only thing, um, was that we had time to write the album with no rush, no pressure.
Okay.
We did everything calmly. Like we took over a year to write an album in purpose. We really wanted that. We wanted to have the time to write a good album, and for us to, when we finish, for us to think, okay, we're delivering the best we can here. And that was the only good thing I can say that kind of helped us out on the writing process. But the thing is, the pandemic brought many difficulties, of course, for the whole metal scene. There's not one person in the metal scene in the world that has not been affected by the pandemic. But for us, as you mentioned, the writing process and the recording process, the writing process was not totally affected because Sonia lives in another continent. You know, like she lives in Europe. We live in Brazil, so I think we'll always have to write music separately, like
Okay.
virtually. We'll always have to write music through Google Drive and through
Okay.
WhatsApp groups, like because I did this when I was in Nervosa already. Because me, Luana, and Frika, we lived in different cities already, and we always wrote it like this. Of course, the only difference is that now we didn't have the chance to actually get together to practice the songs, you know,
Okay.
like and make the adjustments. Because I think writing an album like by distance is really okay. I don't have any problems with that. I actually like it because I'm very methodic. So to me, I like to have my time to write the music my way. But but the only bad thing is that we didn't have the chance to actually be in the studio together, playing the songs. And okay, so let's put this riff here. Let's remove this riff. Let's try this different structure. Let's try it now. So it was just more complicated. The pre-production process was a little bit longer and more complicated because we needed to do all these adjustments of like adding a riff, removing a riff, changing the structure, all by through WhatsApp chat. So it would have been way easier if we could just meet and discuss it. But we didn't have the chance, and it was fine. We adapted well. As for the recording process, it got even more complicated. I mean, it all went well. We like it was all okay. It was just like some extra work, like
Okay.
if I'm very used to planning stuff, and I love doing that, like taking care of the production of stuff, like renting the home we're staying, renting the studio, renting the filmmakers, renting this and that. I just love doing that. And this is never a problem to me during the recording process of the album, but the difference was that it needed extra work. Like um, I needed to record to rent a studio where we could stay on the same street. For example,
Okay.
we could sleep on the same street as the studio, so we didn't have to use public transportation to be going in and out of the studio and not being in touch with anyone. I myself, I live here in the same city that where we recorded the album, but I didn't come back home. I stayed there in a rental home with the girls just so we were sure that I was not in touch with other people, like outside of the studio thing. We needed to do like lots of tests, like for the nose test for
Okay.
the recordings. And as soon as the girls were here, we couldn't hug each other. We needed to wait for 2 days, get tested, and then like, hey, I missed you and stuff like that. So, and really, we needed to plan everything like accordingly to the pandemic. So it was extra work to record an album during the pandemic, but it was worth it. In the end, everyone was healthy, safe, and sound. Everyone got home like super okay, and but still, it was a bit more stressful than it could be than if it was on non-pandemic times.
Okay, but the sound of the album is extremely compact, extremely cohesive. It seems like you've been in the studio every day, so this is not a problem. And there is a lot.
Exactly. Sorry to interrupt,
Yes,
but just
yes,
one thing. And people never believe when I say that we had never
yes,
practiced, like rehearsed together before the album recording. The only rehearsals we had were after we recorded the album. We finished recording the album. Okay, now we have time to practice. And then we just jammed together,
yes,
but never before the album.
and this is the magic because there's a strong cohesion and between all the instruments and the desire to insert more melodic parts, especially regarding song phrases and guitar solos. What are the main points of reference and inspiration for the instruments parts?
We are a big, I usually say that Crypta is a big cauldron of different
Yes.
death metal elements. Like there's a little bit of everything in there. And the curious thing is that we didn't plan for that. Like actually when we started Crypta, we wanted like, okay, let's play old school death metal. We
Okay.
really wanted to sound like old school death metal because we all like it. But as soon as we started writing the album, we noticed that there's old school death metal in there, but there's so much more too. And then we just didn't block it. We let it flow organically. We were like, okay, let's see where it goes. And then we just let everyone just express themselves and their influences through their instruments. And then the final result was this. You have like a little bit of Swedish death metal, a little bit of Florida death metal, a little bit of old school death metal, but then some modern melodies here and there. So there's a little bit of everything in there. And we didn't plan. Our plan was completely different, but in the end, we really liked the result because we thought we we created something different, and this is really cool. It's so hard. I mean, we didn't reinvent the wheel, and we didn't want to, but still, I don't know. I think it's cool.
Yeah, yeah, and it sounds real. We can hear. It's like "Blessed Are the Sick" of Morbid Angels with Iron Maiden. It's a
Yeah,
mix.
something like it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This sound to me. And the lyrics also has a large range, from social, for example, like songs like Starvation, Shadow Within, and The Bloodstained Heritage, to mythological, something like this, as in From the Ashes, Kali, or Death Arcana. This is my favorite one. Your two souls, the social one and the spiritual one, merge in this album more than in the past, I think. Do you also want to talk about your main inspiration for the lyrics and how much of your personal and spiritual life goes into the lyrics?
Uh-huh. Thank you for noticing that. It really makes me glad because, like, it was actually an effort to adapt my way of writing music and lyrics to this new band because I was like I felt pretty comfortable in Nervosa lyric wise because whoever follows me on social media knows that like I'm an activist. I'm always criticizing stuff that I don't think I write on the society. So it was pretty comfortable to me because I used my music to express myself politically and socially. It was pretty natural to me. But then Crypta came, and then I saw Crypta as a book full of blank pages where I could write whatever I wanted. I could create a new thing. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna challenge myself and try to reinvent the way I write lyrics. And then I was like, okay, what death metal? What am I gonna write about? Because I knew I was not gonna feel comfortable, like uh, creating the usual lyrics for death metal. And nothing against that. It's just me. I wouldn't have like too much to talk about. I think if it was like too gory,
Yeah.
like or like satanic or stuff like that, it's just like I wouldn't even know like where to start. So I was like, okay, let's just start from somewhere. And the first thing I started was like, I want to link every lyric to death in a
Okay.
way, because like we're playing death metal. So I was like, I want to, in every song there's gonna be like something related to death, and I managed to do that because in Kali there's the death of the ego, and
Okay.
from the ashes in Darthakana there's the death of a cycle. In Starvation, there's a literal death. So death is all there in the album. So I
Wow.
managed to do that. And then I decided, instead of going to these usual topics, I just decided to explore the darkest, um, the darkest, like doomer aspects of our journey through life. Like we all have our inner demons. We all went through some bad stuff. We all, like we all have our inner struggles. And I thought I'm gonna explore that because then I would feel very comfortable because I have a lot to talk about that, and maybe people could relate to it in a way too. And then I started doing this, and it was pretty natural. I wrote the lyrics like this, and but in the end, when I was like halfway through the album, I was like, yeah, but I kind of miss writing like protest songs,
Okay.
like political songs. And then that's where Starvation and Bloodstained Heritage came from. They're protest songs, but written in a more poetic, darker way. And so, yeah, these were my inspirations. It's not only spiritual, and by spiritual, I don't mean religious, because people tend
Okay.
to to make a mass and think spirituality is religion, but it's not. When I say spirituality is like self improvement, self acknowledgement, and like just trying to be a better person. That's all. And I used some of that as an inspiration, stuff I've been through during this self acknowledgement journey, and to use on the lyrics. So yeah, that's it. That's basically it.
Okay, thank you. And you talk about From the Ashes, and I found that video very interesting. Can we see it as a rebirth of you as an artist, also thinking about the lyrics of that song from your past, a rebirth
Yeah,
from your past?
I, I, I think the cool thing about From the Ashes is that it can lead to so many different
Yeah,
interpretations, and I'm gonna tell you some of them. When I wrote From the Ashes, From the Ashes is based actually in a meditation that I had, and I had this very like important thing coming up, and then so it was based on a clarifying moment after a meditation process.
okay,
And but I mean, I've been in a self acknowledgement thing for like 4 years now, and I needed to end so many cycles. Like the nervosa thing that people usually associate From the Ashes with, it's just one of the things that I needed to get a closure to. Like I quit drinking, I quit eating meat and dairy, I I quit taking birth control pills, I quit so many things, like so many versions of myself needed to die, figuratively, for me to get here. So From the Ashes talks about the many cycle endings I've been having in my life, but it's that I really didn't think of Nervosa when I wrote there. It's
Okay.
way deeper than that, way deeper than that. But I understand that people associated this because that's the that's the part of my life that people know.
But it's more
Like that I
personal.
was in Nervosa. So
Yeah.
it's natural. I knew people were gonna associate that, but it's definitely not like about this. It's about the many cycles I needed to end in my life. And Nervosa was naturally one of them, but that's all. But I knew people would be like, "Oh, they're burning their past selves, like their nervosa selves," and it's definitely not like that. But I can understand why. Um, but the song actually talks about like how many, like we're always evolving in some way, and how many versions of ourselves we needed to leave behind in order for us to be here. So this is the main theme of the lyrics. But I got many different interpretations. For example, I've got feedback from people, of course, thinking it was about Nervosa. I've got feedback from people saying like, yeah, I just got fired from my job and this song was inspirational. Like, it sucks right now that I don't have any money. I'm broke, but from the dust, I'm gonna be reborn. And it's just people associating it to their lives. And I've got people talking about the end of their relationships that occurred during the pandemic, and people that lost their loved ones during the pandemic, and like they could find some comfort in the lyrics. And I even got people who just got out from like a very serious depressive suicidal episode, and they found comfort in the lyrics. So like I talk about something, but there's like so many interpretations of the song, and I love that. That's exactly what I wanted. Like, this is what I'm writing, but you can take what I'm writing and bring it to your reality and maybe soothe your situation in some way. And I couldn't be more fulfilled.
Yeah, it's a new personal beginning for everyone who listen at.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. Like during the pandemic, in a way, we all needed to
Yeah.
end some cycles.
Yeah.
Every one of us, every one of
Exactly.
us.
Yeah. And you also have a great musical background as a singer. Your passion for blues singer and genre is very different from heavy metal. When and who made you decide you will be a lead singer and a musician? How do you warm up to prepare for your live show? It's like more you sing more heavy metal or more blues, always with your bass. What's your method?
Uh, okay, so I started playing bass because basically my dad used to play bass, so
Okay.
it was the first instrument I was in touch with.
Okay.
So it was pretty natural to me. I saw my dad doing that with the fingers, and the first time I had a guitar, like an acoustic guitar in my lap, I did the same. So it was pretty natural. But when I started actually understanding about the instrument, my main inspirations were definitely from metal, because my dad is a metalhead, so I listened to metal since I was like 7 6 7 years old. So my main influences on bass, they come and still are from rock and metal. And my main inspiration from the beginning was Steve Harris and a little bit of Marcus Grosskopf
Okay.
from Halloween. But nowadays they stand in between Steve Harris still, because he taught me everything I know, but also Geddy Lee from Rush, and possibly Steve DiGiorgio, because he can play like bass so well in at the extreme side of metal, so he's very inspirational. As for singing, I always loved singing. Since I was a kid, I always loved singing. I remember the first album my dad recorded in a tape for me was the Kiss Unplugged, and I knew all the lyrics when I was like 7 8 years old.
Okay.
I just loved it so much. And so I always loved singing. I always wanted to memorize lyrics and sing along. And I started noticing I liked singing when I started going to melodic metal and symphonic metal. People, the first couple of people that actually inspired me on singing were Andre Matos from
Okay.
Angra and Chamon, who recently passed away, unfortunately, And Michael Kiske, definitely. Oh man, I used to sing Halloween out loud with my friends, like on the streets while we were walking a lot. And definitely Taria from Nightwish. Like the moment I found out about Nightwish, I got crazy about it. Like I was like, I need to sing like her. And I developed like calluses on my vocal cords
Okay.
because of trying to impersonate
Okay.
and imitate Stadia. So these were my main influences. They made me wanna sing, but singing in thrash metal and in extreme metal was casually. Like I didn't plan to. I never wanted to be a an extreme metal singer. Never, never. I never felt like I could do that. So, but it naturally happened. I had a band. My last band before Nervosa was like a melodic, kind of a arch enemy kind of band, and like like melodic death metal. And I was playing the bass only, but I they told me I should do like backing vocals. So I started doing backing vocals, but basically screaming. And then when I left this band and I was looking for another band, and there was like Nervosa, these two girls who were this project of Nervosa at that time, which were Prika and the drummer Fernanda, also. They were looking for a singer and a bassist, and I was like a bassist who could also do backing vocals. I was looking for a guitarist and a drummer, so we just joined forces, and Nervosa actually started working as a band professionally from there. And and I was like, okay, you need a vocalist, like I love singing. I used to sing in like backing vocals. I can try and sing here. And then I didn't know how to. I learned how to sing and develop my own technique throughout the years with Nervosa. So yeah, so it was pretty casual. But after I started singing on the more to the extreme side of metal, my main influences were definitely Death, Chuck Schuldiner from Death, and Joan Tardy from Obituary. They are my main influences on extreme singing.
Oh, good, good. And
Fantastic.
I see a beautiful poster right back. Ratos de
Ah,
Porão.
Which of
ah,
them?
Ratos
great.
de
So many.
Slayer also, but I want to talk about. Okay.
Uh, Sorry, the phone was ringing here.
Oh, okay. I want to talk about João Gordo because you work with him, and you wrote a lyric about a difficult situation for women. Okay,
Mhm,
I'm talking about Cultura do Estupro, and
mhm.
is a character who has always deal with social and political issue concerning your country. How did you work together, and how do you live the current situation in Brazil as a citizen and a musician, and as a
Yeah.
musician?
Not only Ratos de Porão, but not only João Gordo, but Ratos de Porão is very present in my life. My boyfriend is the bassist of Ratos de Porão.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, like the guy, the drummer was here like some time ago. So I really like the guys. They're very present in my life. And João, I've always admired him because he was always pointing out whatever he felt it was wrong, like in society and everything. And this is really inspiring to me because there's this thing that people say, yeah, you shouldn't mix politics with art, but I agree with the complete opposite. Like I get very inspired by people who exactly use their art to express their political things, like Nina Simone,
Okay,
for example. Like and
Yeah.
and many other artists, Billie Holiday.
okay.
You know, so and João. So I to me it's very natural that to write, to use my art to express myself about whatever I feel is wrong in society and in life in general. And so, yeah, working with him was awesome because I wanted to write lyrics about that theme specifically. And João was like such a good friend, and it was just like a personal dream coming true. It was really, really cool. He's very creative. He created a song like this and the lyrics. I mean, so yeah, and we're still friends here and there. Like we join forces, me and his wife, for example, to like get donations and distribute donations to people who need it. So we're active, very active together, not only in music but in social stuff. And the current situation in Brazil is like it's terrible. Like not only the way the government has been handling with the pandemic, with it's just sad in so many ways. In so many ways, Brazil is a country full of potential. Our
Yeah.
public health system is amazing. People are so resilient, and we have so much potential. But unfortunately, right now, we're under a government that goes against like everything I believe. Like it's not a left right thing. Of course, I have my political position, but here with him, it's not like a left right thing. It's not. It's just like I have a view like of what I think is correct and would be fair to everyone based on human rights and everything. And his speeches goes against everything I believe. So it's just terrible. Like people, unfortunately, Brazil is coming back to the world hunger map. People are starving every day. We help people, starving people here on my street. They come knocking on my door and everything. And it's been decades since we last saw this. So it's just terrible. It's just terrible in so many ways, economically and morally. It's just a very dark era for Brazil, but I believe we're gonna overcome all this, but it's just been really hard in so many ways, so many ways.
Okay. Okay. Monia.
The topic contained in the song written with Joao is a very delicate topic and obviously also concern an aspect of male supremacy that never seemed to end. I want to ask you if you remember your beginnings in the musical mainstream. You are a woman and you play death metal. Have you been taken seriously since the first moment, or did you have to fight a lot to establish yourself?
People usually have a misconception that being in an all-girl band makes things easier, but it makes because it draws more attention and this and that. But it's way harder. I believe it's way harder because,
That's why we
like,
ask it.
I've yeah, I've been through things that I can guarantee many guys haven't. Like, for example, like, and this happens a lot. Like, some people come and try and take a photos and touch your boobs or touch your butt, like, and you need to explain, like, dude, if it was Carrie King, would you be doing the same thing here? No, so please respect me. And other stuff, like, I got prevented, like, I was forbidden to get into my own dressing room many times because the people didn't believe I was in the band, like I was the band. No, no, only the band, only the band. And I was like, yeah, I'm the band. No, you are with the band. So people basically assuming that because I'm a girl, I'm with the band and I'm not in the band. And like you get on stage and people try to teach you how to use the volume button of the amp. This happens a lot too. So it's not easy and it's complicated. Like I feel that people like are always trying to make like girls become enemies of girls, like comparing girls in the metal scene, like who is better, this or this, like what was the last time that you saw like a competition like this with men, like who is the best singer, Bruce Dickinson or Rob Halford, like what, like you don't see people doing that. As for girls, there's a lot,
Yes.
like it's always there. So it's really complicated. Like it's really really complicated. But I've heard like so many twisted stories. Like yeah, they only get shows because they send nudes to the promoters and stuff like that. Like all kinds of stuff you can imagine we've been through. So it's not easy. It's not easy. But I never and I will never give up because I believe that this can change. Like even when I'm dealing with guys who are being like misogynist with me in the metal scene, I try to tell them that this is not cool. I'm not like, yeah, I'm gonna punch you. No, I'm like, dude, like, this is not cool, right? Because I understand that many people don't even notice they're being sexist, for example, because society has been like this centuries, for centuries. So it's not going to be changed like this. So I want to be a person that shows people that this way is not cool. You can try and do it this way, so we can get there. Like, and one of the ways I do that is being there on stage with my girls. To me, this is like, only us girls know what is the feeling of seeing other girls on stage. It's very inspirational. We look at those girls and we feel safe. We were like, if they're following their dreams, maybe I can do it too. If they're playing a guitar, maybe I can do it too. Like, if they're out there on the stage, maybe I can be there too, or anywhere else. So I think it's all about representativeness too. So as long as I can be there and inspire other girls, and in the meantime tell guys how they can be more respectful to us, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You have done, excuse me, you have done a lot of jobs. You have been a journalist and English teacher, and currently you are a volunteer, and of course a musician. What do you like most and less about all this job, and what do you think your goals should still be achieved in your future?
I love everything I've done. I really love. But definitely, music is what I love the most. So I needed to leave so many things behind, things that I loved, in order for me to play music. Like, and I'll always do, because that's always going to be my priority, at least for now. and
And we thank you for this choice.
and yeah, I was a journalist, like a metal journalist, and I love doing that. I love interviewing bands. I can tell you how much I love that. I really loved. And I had the radio show I hosted, and I loved doing that. But at some point, I needed to choose, because there's no time for us to do everything we want. So I love being a teacher. And I still have this teacher vibes in me. Like, whenever someone wants to learn English, I'm like, yeah, can I help you with this and that? I really love it. I'm always inspiring people to do that. And I love being a metal journalist, but music is my passion. As for the volunteering thing, I always make sure I have some time for volunteering, because I think this is my way of trying to fix at least a little bit what's wrong. Like, so I've been a volunteer English teacher. Oh man, I've done so many things, like doing Reiki to people who live on the streets and drug addicts, and now I'm doing with the cats. So and I help so many organizations. I think it's just an important part for me. I feel like if I could, I would try and change the world, but I can't. So I'll do like a little part here and there to, like, at least do something. So yeah, that's it.
And we thank you.
Oh, and the goals for the future. I don't know. There's so much I want to achieve, so much yet. Like, I feel very happy with Crypta already, because I'm already achieving more than I could ever expect. Like, and Bakken is a good example of that. It's just crazy, and I'm so happy. Like, so I still have many things I would like to accomplish, but right now I'm just like going with the flow. Whatever comes, I'll be so grateful, because this transition was very hard to me, and so I'm just very happy to be able to be here and be writing and doing what I love and playing the festivals of my dreams. But yeah, in a personal side, there's still a lot I want to achieve. There's many side things that I want to do, not in music, but in the personal side. There's many countries in the world I still want to visit. I'm a traveler. I can wait to get back at traveling. I have a huge list of places I still want to visit. So yeah, I still have so much to live.
Yeah, and
We want you in Italy.
And we are happy that you choose. You mainly choose. We are happy that you mainly choose music.
Yeah. Thank you. And yeah, I can't wait to get back to Italy, and I can't wait to actually spend some more time in Italy. I've been seeing like some I knew there were like some hidden paradise beaches and stuff like that in Italy, but I've been researching, and I'm like, damn, I need to spend some time
Yeah.
there.
We invite you. I've met you first time with Nervosa, so I wait you here in Italy.
It's gonna be a pleasure seeing you guys. Thank you,
Okay,
guys.
thank you very much.
Unfortunately, we have to say goodbye, and we want to thank you for your kindness, but for your energy too. You are very a bomb. You are great, Fernando.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity of being here talking about my band. After everything I've been through, it truly means a lot that there's still people interested to know it, like what I'm doing and what I'm up to. So thank you for the opportunity. Thank
Yeah,
you.
It's a gift for us. We can speak to you. It's a very pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Your debut is very amazing.
Do you want to leave a message to the audience of Alchemy-Sound Radio?
Definitely. First of all, thank you for listening here, and thank you for supporting Crypta and supporting the channel here. And my final message is like I've been saying this a lot. We all learned how to live without many things during the pandemic. We learned that we can live without seeing our friends every week. We learned that we can not go to our favorite restaurants. We know we can live without traveling, although it's really hard to me. But one thing that we learned that we cannot live without is art. Yeah. We all consumed art every day. We all listened to music every day. We all saw a movie, watched series, read a book every day. So we learned that even during trying hard times, art can have the power to soothe our soul and make things a little bit easier. So my message is let's keep on supporting art and cherishing art like in all the ways we can, because we know if things go bad again, at least art is going to be there for us, right?
Absolutely.
So this is my final message.
Thank you very much. We're waiting for new art of the Cryptas soon. Okay.
We're working on it already.
Oh, that's a good news.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for this.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks so much. Hi, Fernanda.
Bye-bye. See you guys.